Welcome to Four Doors Down. Nope, sorry. Welcome to Camp All the Marbles. Welcome to Bro Depot. Welcome, no.
Keep going, yeah.
Welcome to Chatcast.
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 The Chatcast with
Will Cates
and Austin Bagwell. The Chatcast is going to be our new podcast name. I think that's what we've decided on.
Oh yeah.
The podcast was great in theory, poor in execution. So
if you Google podcast, we're not the first one that comes up.
No, we don't even come up. I actually had to use yours and my name for it to come up.
Okay.
So we have decided to change the show's name to the Chatcast with Will and Austin.
Chatcast.
We chose the podcast initially because that was kind of like an inside joke with Will and something that he really liked to do.
We used to just call it the pod.
Right, the pod.
Yeah.
But I think this will be a little bit better. So,
yeah, and I didn't see another one named that. So
the Chatcast, right? Yeah. So I YouTubed it as well and didn't see anything.
Nope.
So hopefully we don't get sued by anybody or whatever. So we don't typically come into these conversations, our podcasts rather, with an agenda.
Mm-hmm. It's a chat.
Right. Right. It's supposed to be a chat. It's just like, an off the cuff kind of show. But being that movies and TV shows and pop cultures were something that you and I bonded over, I saw a article recently and sent it to you just before we started the show. Actually, you told me that you already seen this article. And what this article was referencing was AMC, the movie theater company, was talking about, and I think they're already implementing this in some cities.
It's already started, yeah.
Okay.
But in some cities, I think they're trial period.
Okay. And
the trial.
what they're going to be implementing is an upcharge on the more popular seats or the best seats, I guess, in the house. You want to explain a little bit more about
the
that?
best seats and worst seats. I love that they know. It's common knowledge now, the bad seats. So, I mean, if you want to sit on the front row, what's wrong with you? Like,
yeah, I have been guilty of that.
We've all done it before. I remember as a kid, it's like, well, let's sit on the front row. And you're just like,
yeah.
You're looking
after
up.
The first 15 minutes, you're like, this is a dumb idea. Yeah.
But you have to do it at least once.
Yeah. So explain a little bit about what AMC's doing.
Yeah. I mean, AMC is most likely the theater you have in your town. I mean, they're the most prevalent, really. There's Cinemark as well. Then if you're lucky, you get these really nice family-owned theaters like we have here, which, although they only have like 4 screens, so it's pros and cons to a small family-owned theater. Right. And they typically don't prioritize your more indie or violent movies, or it's mostly family movies. Anyway, cartoons and whatnot. But and blockbusters. But yeah, AMC, they have theaters all over the place. And when COVID hit, they were struggling, which is no surprise because no one could go to the movies. Right. But it's so funny. Back during COVID, people were saying, "Yeah, man, I think theaters are dead," and I was like, "You better shut your mouth," because that's like nothing.
That's my hangout.
So I said, "No, it's fine." Tom Cruise busted out of the gate with Top Gun, and that was a huge hit. And then we just had Avatar 2, which broke records as well. So, I mean, cinema is alive and well, but AMC, I'm sure, is still struggling because streaming and whatnot. Yeah. But so their answer to that was to make a new option when you're buying your ticket, where if you choose a seat in the middle of the theater, it will be a $2 upcharge. If you sit in the front row in the bad seats, you get a $1 downcharge.
Oh, I thought it was $2. I thought it was $2 up and $2 down.
It's only $1.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, $1. And then I actually think the side seats in the very back are just still the same.
Same price, right?
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, the middle is where it's at. I love the middle because for me, the sound is perfect. I like to sit in the center. I like to look forward. Yeah. Sitting to the side's fine, but I actually, as I've gotten older, have become a fan of higher up.
So I'm a middle back person.
Yeah, middle back.
I'm like middle back. If I can get all the way up, I prefer all the way up, honestly. And much like you, when I read that article, I'm like, they're trying to
Dude,
kill their own business. They
it's
have to
so
be.
expensive
It does
already.
right. So ticket prices are already really high. I can't think of the last time I bought snacks at a movie
Dude,
theater. I always bring my own, straight
yeah,
up, like
sneak them
straight
in.
away.
Yeah,
Like, and frankly, you don't even have to sneak them. I mean, as a dude, I've only
yeah,
got pockets. They're not searching you. They're not
no,
patting you down as you're
no,
walking in. And what I buy at Five Below, right next to the movie theater, is the exact same thing that they sell at the counter
dude,
for $3 less.
dude, you get
So, like, it's. I was thinking about this. I was thinking about this when I sent you the article. And my thought process was nothing, no movie theater is gonna beat my couch. And
yeah,
I am, as much as I like movies,
hmm
I don't mind waiting until it
hmm
comes out on HBO Max
hmm
or on Netflix or Prime Video, whatever,
a lot of people
to
feel
watch
that
it.
way.
Yeah, like I get to control my
Mm.
living room. I get to control the temperature. I get to control the food.
And
I
pause it.
That's the thing. Like
Yeah.
I have so much more control over everything
hmm
that this is just furthering the the
How you that it strengthens that.
yeah
Yeah,
yeah yeah. I have no need nor want to go to a movie theater
yeah,
or an AMC
hmm
because of that.
yeah.
You know,
And other people are gonna feel that way. And I mean, and for those that are like, the diehards that love to go to the theater, and I mean, and it's like it's one of those things where, you know, if you if you were to tell me, hey, well, let's go see a movie, I guarantee you, I will never say, no, man, too
yeah, I'm good.
expensive,
Right.
because
Oh, sure.
yeah, I'm still gonna go, but that doesn't mean that I'm like, uh, impervious. That's not a word.
Well, I need to know the rest of the sentence to get it.
Impervious
Impervious is a
to
word, but
impervious to the cost. You know what I mean? I'm still prone to. I'm not rich. so, so what I'm saying is,
what I'm trying to say, guys, is I'm poor.
what I'm trying to say is that it hurts me too. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
totally.
yeah.
No, I get it. I
And
get
so
it.
it's a bummer.
So the increased cost doesn't
Yeah,
affect your
I'm still going.
how much you enjoy the show though. Like
Oh
it
yeah.
doesn't impact or it
No,
does.
like for instance, I would sit down in a movie and have just spent $30 to get up in there, and I'd be happy as a clam.
Man, you are a better man than me. Like seriously, those tickets. I think
It's wild.
what are
It
adult
really
tickets?
is.
Are they like
So if it's not a
$17? I
matinee,
think.
not.
Yeah, like primetime showing
I mean, most likely it's going to be like $10 to get
at least
yeah.
just for the ticket. Which and don't get me wrong, I totally get that millions upon millions of dollars have gone into
Oh, of
making
course.
this movie.
But if you have a family too,
Yeah. Right, well, and they brought that up in
hmm
the article, and maybe it was another article just after it, but they were like, a family of four, it's cost prohibitive to go to the
yeah,
movies. It's just not worth it.
it's a bummer because kids. Oh my gosh, the best memories I have of going
I had
out to
movies.
theaters as a kid.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, they're already on their tablets and they're already streaming
Yeah.
nonstop. They need that sort of, there's a culture to it, or there's a magic to it.
Mhm.
And I don't want that to go away. And I think that really is what it boils down to for me is the magic of cinema, of that feeling of like being in this dark enclosed space, away from the world, completely in the movie. I mean, it is a difference from being at home. So for me, it's like, no matter what they do, I know that the theaters are struggling. So part of me feels like, oh man, this sucks, but I'm going to theaters and I'm going to take advantage of it while I can. Because, Lord, if for some reason they stop and theaters do die at some point in my life, I will just be depressed.
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say that. I do understand though, because
So I want to
you've
take
got that
advantage of it.
emotional tie to
Yeah, yeah,
it,
yeah.
especially as a kid with your family and so on, and then even
Mhm.
as an adult. But there is
But
a
I
point
so
in
get
time
it.
where it's like, I'm not responsible for how much you paid to make this movie.
Yes.
That's not my
great
responsibility,
point.
right?
Mhm.
So it's up to you to and by you I mean AMC,
Yeah.
to really truly understand your audience and
Yeah.
not like most people are just going to look at this and go, this is a money grab.
The audience in the times. I mean, right
Yeah.
now, I mean, my God. I mean,
Yeah. So I mean, I I already don't go to the movies that often anymore. But and there may have been some audio feedback there. I apologize to our listeners. I'm using a new computer, so I had to do a new setup.
We're sorry.
You don't care,
but you can also deal with it.
Yeah, sorry. I'll try to fix it. I'll try to fix it in post. That was pretty savage. I like that.
Cop, bad cop.
That was good savage.
What's that? I mean? What if like one of us in these scenarios is just like, sorry guys, and the other one's like, you know what, you can
just eat it. Yeah, who would be the good cop or the bad cop?
I think I would want to be bad cop just to be funny because I'm so not the bad cop in real life. You know what I mean?
I think of the movie The Other Guys where Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell are interrogating that guy in his office, and Mark Wahlberg, he's Marky Mark and
Wahlburger.
Wahlberg, yeah, Mark Wahlberger. He's got him by the jacket and he's like yelling at him, and then Will Ferrell just pushes him out of the way. He's like. He's just screaming at him. He's like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, we're doing bad cop, bad cop." He's like, "Good cop, bad cop." He's just incoherently screaming at him. Yeah. He's just screaming at him. That's my favorite.
One of the better comedies of the past 10 years. Oh my god.
Yeah, it gets old pretty quick because of how self-aware it is.
Oh,
but it is funny. Like
they lean into it, and there's certain parts, man. One of my favorites was the part they're at a funeral and they're all whisper fighting. They're arguing but whispering. Hey, what's wrong with you people?
Not only that is when their supervisor comes up and breaks up the fight, and it's like, I get it. You guys are fighting. You guys are fighting to see who's top dog. And Wilford goes, "Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing." And it's really good. Rob Riggle is fantastic in that movie.
Good.
He's so good.
He's got that scream comedy down pat. He can sort of yell and it'd be so funny.
Well, you know he's a retired lieutenant colonel of the Marine Corps, right?
That makes sense.
Reservist.
I can see that, dude.
Yeah. He's got it down.
He's got a part where he's like, "You change that face to put what?" Or maybe that was a different movie. He's like,
I don't know.
"Fix your face."
Maybe that was
could have been Hangover.
Hangover, I think. Yeah. But that was, he's such a great actor. He's really good. He's really funny. That like some of the funniest people I've ever met in my life were in the military. Like some of the jokes that drill sergeants especially come up with, or like some of the witty comebacks are off the cuff. I almost believe that they send them to improv school, or that's part of their drill sergeant's training, to just be able to come back with those just really snappy and witty comebacks.
Impressive.
It really is, especially when you're on the receiving end. It's like it's like I want to laugh, but I know if I laugh, you're going to break me in half, so I can't laugh.
Whoa, that'd be
But that was a really good.
I didn't think about the times where you have to hold back your laughter.
It's not hard in the very beginning because you're still in culture shock and you're still terrified.
Yeah.
But a few weeks in, like your deal. A month in or so, you're like, okay, they've broken you down by this point, and they're starting to build you back up as a team. As a team.
Yeah.
So they've actually kind of leveled off a little bit, and they're becoming more of a mentor than a authoritarian. And sometimes, man, you just get these funny moments, and they're wearing the big round cap.
Yeah.
And when they do this number,
oh man.
They look down and they start rubbing the brim. Yeah,
they're getting ready to say something.
They're laughing, is what they're doing.
Oh.
They're trying to get it back down because it's like so.
But at the same time, if you saw me go like this, I could be about to say something serious.
Oh, sure.
So that's a
here's
clever move of them.
But here's the thing: that they're doing that because they're trying not to laugh because there's no repercussions for them if they are getting upset or yelling. That's their whole job. We had a guy. We were out on the range one time, a rifle range, and we were called over for formation. And one of the guys was like, taking forever, wasn't paying attention to stuff. He's just sitting under a tree, just hanging out.
Oh yeah.
Drill sergeant yells over at him, "Come over here!" But much more rude. And the guy jogs over, just happy-go-lucky, just jogging over, and I'm like, this guy, jeez. And he runs up, and this guy is not. I don't want to say he's been a problem, but he's just kind of like that, like. Really
he's loosey-goosey.
Happy-go-lucky all the time, doesn't take anything seriously, but not because he doesn't want to, he's just not smart enough to,
So he was me.
And drill sergeant goes, so where did you come from?
Yeah.
And he goes, over there. And I was like, oh my God,
I love this
I'm gonna
guy.
die. I'm gonna die. And Joe he just put his head down and just started rubbing that brim. And you can see his like shoulders bouncing. He's laughing. And you're like, man, we're gonna get destroyed,
Dude,
bro.
He's a person too, man. He's trying to do
Yeah,
his job.
yeah. He absolutely was.
Over there.
Yeah, dude. I think he was
great.
from. I don't remember his name. It drives me nuts that I don't remember. This is from 2006. But
Wow, 2006. You know, what time has passed, man? I actually read something the other day that said that there are now there are guys in bars, people are in bars drinking that were born after 9/11. That have
it's 2023, man.
So weird
anybody
to
born
think about that.
Anybody born 2000 and later.
Yeah.
Well, I think 2000 to what is it? 2022
Mm-hmm.
and
That's
earlier.
wild.
So we were talking about we almost talked about this at dinner before we started the podcast. I brought up 2006.
Yeah.
And it's I can remember specific incidents like the one I just told you about, but I can't remember like what day it was.
Oh, for sure.
Like the specifics, right? I have found the ultimate nostalgia machine.
What is this?
On YouTube. Okay.
Okay.
There are full on channels and videos that are between like 30 and 40 minutes long. And all they are commercials from 2000. Like you type in a year and there's commercials for it. I watched. Seriously, I watched a.
They're more fun than a pillow.
All right. There is going to be a hard cut right in the middle of the video and the audio, but we are back, and we left off on me finding commercials from the late 90s, early 2000s, and I spent a solid probably like 30 minutes watching different videos of different commercials from different years.
Did you recognize some?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Most of them were like the Austin didn't recognize a lot of these, and I was like, well, maybe it's just because I live in North Carolina. I don't know, but it was
true. That could be.
Well, one of them, one of the recurring themes was like, if you ever stayed up super late at night, and the compilation CDs,
dude,
of like different bands with different songs, but it was all like rock ballads of the 2000s or whatever. And
they'd scroll.
They would play different sets of songs. Like I remember those. I remember some of the ones I watched were like video games. Yeah. Which were great.
Yeah,
they were
really cool.
Crash Bandicoot, which is hilarious. I remember that one. And what was fascinating about it was I've had issues recently actually trying to really differentiate the days of my memory. Mm-hmm. Like I remember specific events. Mm-hmm. I remember the day my wife and I got married. I remember the day that she and I met. I remember these things. But from when I was a kid, everything meshes together. All the days mesh together. Like I can tell you about, playing Dead Man's Hunt as a kid, which is just hide and seek at night. Yeah. But I can't tell you the day that we played it on the most, or how many days or how many years we played it. Like I can't remember all that.
Yeah, summers I can remember certain summers. Really just two of them in particular.
Right, same.
But not anything else.
Right. And when I watched these commercials, they pulled out segments of my brain memories, and I'm like, wow, I remember how I felt watching this. Like, it was really, really cool. I was not expecting that.
That's it. It does unlock the memory, and it's right. You're right back in it. One example, I actually came across this somewhere on social media, probably like TikTok or something, but it was Zoo Books. They were
Zoo Books, absolutely.
Yes. And I wanted them so bad.
Zoo Books, man. And that's one of the things. So, you can also find. Did you ever watch Toonami? Yeah. On Cartoon Network? Okay.
Yeah, what a cool robot in between episode commercials. Yeah,
Bob. Or no, Tom. Yeah. So there was a whole storyline with Tom. Do you remember that?
I don't remember.
They killed off Tom 1,
Yes.
Tom 1 was like this really round,
Yep.
hard to get around robot.
Mhm.
Tom 2
Was this cool
was
guy?
the cool guy. Like
Yeah.
he could shoot guns and stuff out of his hands and
He's
stuff. Like
typically sitting.
yeah.
Yeah.
They both were, but
Yeah.
Tom 2 could actually get around.
Mhm.
Anyway, there are full Toonami broadcasts on YouTube as well from the 2000s.
That's nuts.
And I went back and I watched one not too long ago, and it was Yu Yu Hakusho. It was what else was on it? Inuyasha. It was, but what was weird is that you're dropping in right in the middle of episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's this random broadcast from a random day and a random year.
That makes it kind of cooler.
And
anyway.
it's like, boop, I hope you know what's going on here because you're just dropped in the middle of this episode.
That's what it'd be like if you were to think back at a memory of, let's say,
If
Dragon Ball Z.
if you're not already watching it.
Flashes of moments. So it makes sense that these compilations are
totally.
like that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
That's cool, man.
That was how I remember specifically watching Dragon Ball Z as a kid in the summertime. So I didn't have school. I was up late watching it. And it had to be like 2:00 in the morning. And I'm watching this show with my brother. My brother's watching it with me. And it's clearly like really, really late at night.
Yeah.
Because I remember the TV being turned down really, really low.
Mm-hmm.
But I was sitting really close to it on the living room floor so I could hear it.
Yep,
and it wouldn't wake up my mom. Right.
Yes.
So
gotta sit right up cross-legged in front of the TV.
Yeah.
If you're trying to keep the volume down. We have this big screen. My brother had the biggest TV in the house. It was this it was wild because it was a big screen, but it was the old school fat back, like their head.
Oh, a projection screen TV,
yeah,
or was it
just the back of the screen was it's an old school TV.
Oh, okay, so it was cathode tubes. What it was just really big.
Yeah, and it had. I mean, the screen was just glass.
Yeah.
Like if you tried to lift it, it is just so heavy.
Yep.
And nothing flat about these TVs, and then no flat screen. And actually, the screen itself just curved a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, but it would have this sort of like weird matrixing, glitching with the colors messing up, fuzziness. And what would happen was we learned that if you take the remote and smack the middle of the screen, it would fix it. Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know why that happened, but it would. It would start messing up.
Yeah.
Hit it hard in the middle, it'd go back to normal.
I don't know enough about cathode TVs to actually know how or why that would work. If I remember correctly, there are gases on the inside of that TV, and that's how the color is produced. I think I don't remember exactly.
Because that was what was messing up. Really, was the colors.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, people were blue and green, and we'd smack it, and it would like go back to normal.
Did you ever watch TV? Like, did you have a TV in your room as a kid?
Always.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was. My wife and I were talking about this last night when I was kind of regaling her with how I was having all these memories flood back. And I had a TV in my room, but I did not have cable. I just had the basic channels.
Yes, early TV for me was that as well.
Okay,
it was just basic, and I was had a Nintendo 64 plugged into
it.
Okay,
yeah. So I had one of the other commercials. You said 64, even though this is a GameCube commercial. Was Super Mario Sunshine.
Oh my!
Where he had the water pack.
I haven't thought about that game in a long time.
Completely forgot about it until I saw this commercial. Anyway, I had a TV in my room and I would watch one channel, and that was UPN. Did you ever watch UPN?
Tell me about it.
So UPN was like I don't want to say like the throwaway channel, but so
where you get the weird shows. Is this where you watch your Ninja Warrior?
No. You're way too still way too soon.
Yeah.
This is back in 2000. You got to be. I'm thinking like 2000 is when I was watching.
You're right. That came.
So
you're
way past it. But I was watching Star Trek Voyager.
Oh snap!
On UPN.
On that channel. Okay.
On UPN every night from like middle school all the way until like the first or second year of high school.
Whoa.
Because UPN was playing the entire series in order during weeknights, 2 episodes in a row.
Whoa.
So from like 5th or 6th grade, I'm staying up until 11:30 at night watching Star Trek Voyager. I just happened to come across it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
oh, this looks cool. You know, let's
Mhm.
watch it. And then right after that show would go off, and when I say this channel is like the throwaway channel, it was 2 episodes of Star Trek Voyager. Okay, so that came out in like '96, if I remember correctly. And then it was an episode of Sanford and Son. And then
Yeah.
what was the show? Oh shoot, I can't remember the name of the show where it's got the dude that's like Dynamite. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes, I
I
know what
can't
you're
remember the
talking
name of the
about.
show, but
Yeah,
I would
know
watch that show
exactly.
too. So I was like, I was watching like these 1970s comedies,
Yeah.
1980s comedies. But yeah, UPN was just kind of like that throwaway channel, you
Man,
know.
for me, do you remember the channel? I remember it so well. I know the channel numbers.
It was
43.
28.
Okay, 20.
Yeah,
See,
it was channel 28.
isn't
Yeah, yeah.
that
Cartoon
amazing?
Network. So Cartoon
Tell me
Network.
yours, I'll tell you mine.
Yeah, for sure. Before Cartoon Network, okay, so before the upgrade during the most recent Bush administration, where they went from like normal def TV to high def TV.
Yes, and they
Um,
changed up, I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the original channels for the ones that I remember the most were Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon.
Yep.
Nickelodeon was channel 63,
Oh wow, big
and
difference.
Cartoon Network was 75.
That was mine.
Yes, so
Cartoon Network 75.
yeah, after the change, Nickelodeon was 43,
That was
and,
me.
and
That must be because I'm younger than you.
Mhm.
43 was Nickelodeon for me.
yeah, and then Cartoon Network was
I'll tell you it.
54.
75.
That was You're right. So 54 is what it was
Oh,
before.
yeah.
75 was what it was after.
Do you know
Yeah.
Disney Channel?
I never watched Disney. I wasn't a Disney kid.
57.
Okay.
And Disney for me growing up was actually it's funny, it wasn't cartoons. Cartoon was, Cartoon Network, of course. Nickelodeon had cartoons, but Disney had these
That was like Sweet Life with
Zach and
whatever.
Cody.
Yeah, Zach, whatever.
That's So Raven, Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. But before those, there was Even Stevens, or Even Stevens.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's what or Shia LaBeouf when he was young.
Yeah.
And then there was also there was a show Sister about two twins.
I watched that on TGIF.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a
Boy
good
Meets World and
Boy
that.
Meets World. Yeah,
Topanga was my first crush, man.
dude, me too.
Yeah, Topanga.
Well, I'll tell you, really, it was Topanga and Sandra Bullock in Speed. I loved that movie, dude. Bro, she was something about her.
You're not wrong, but that's two completely different things.
But so I think it was not
One's age
only-
appropriate, the other one's old.
Well, she's driving that bus, and to me,
Yeah.
I thought that was so cool. Like, wow, look at her. She's handling things. Like, what a stressful situation.
Have you never
and
seen a
she's
woman
like-
drive a bus?
Well, the fact that like it's got a bomb on it, it's gonna
Okay,
explode,
that's
and
different.
she's just
That's
like
different.
she's
Okay,
little
no, I
in
get
the
it.
movie, and she's
Yeah.
like this big. But I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know, something about that to me. But really, it was, of course, her looks. But
Yeah.
it was Sandra Bullock, Topanga, and there was another. I can't remember it, but Topanga, I think for a lot of guys was
Bro,
a first
Topanga.
crush.
Oh my gosh, man. That name, just that name. It's such a
I
cool
think
name, but
it
she
was
was
the name.
yeah,
too.
well, it fit her aesthetic. She had the long
Mhm.
curly hair, I wouldn't say tan, it was like olive skin
Yeah.
or something like that.
Mhm.
Just her features. She's
Yeah.
beautiful,
And
beautiful girl.
She's just sweet in the show.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
nice.
yeah. Her
Ooh,
character, at least.
I recently, speaking of old shows, have started thinking about one I'd completely forgotten about for years, but I used to watch on the reg, which was Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
Oh, I've heard of. What channel was that on?
That
was
was
Disney?
on, I think, Nickelodeon. Wait, no,
I'm gonna look it up.
look it up. I think
Yeah.
it's Nickelodeon, but get this. What's wild was the age of the kids in that show were close to my age at the time. So it
Yeah.
felt like I was watching this show on tips of how to manage school life. Because each episode was like, all right, this is Ned's tip for dealing with this in school. And it was such a funny show.
It came out in 2004 on Teen Nick.
Yes. Okay.
So I didn't watch that much Teen Nick, but I did watch All That. Did you ever watch All That?
Bro.
Yeah,
all
yeah. It
that.
was like
how did I not
it was
mention all that?
teenagers' version of SNL.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah,
so funny.
it
Keenan
was.
and Kel
Yep.
and all that were like supreme.
100%.
So good. And talk
100%.
about the intro song, bro.
This
It's
is over.
It's
Oh,
and
gosh.
then they break into a rap in the middle
Yeah,
of the
Coolio.
and then it
No, no,
just
no.
don't know
Coolio did.
yeah,
He did Keenan and Kel.
that's
Coolio
right,
did.
that's right.
Yeah.
Dude, so cool. Like honestly, I don't think I don't think kids shows ever were as cool as all that in Keenan and
Did it
Kel.
have? Was Josh Bell in this show?
What show?
Ned's Declassified School Survival
What
Guide.
say the name again?
Josh Bell. He was in. No, it's not Josh Bell. This is somebody else.
The
It doesn't matter.
well, there's the girl who
The girl.
plays her. She's well, her name is Mose. The girl's Mose.
Yeah.
And then Ned, and then I think it was Danny. No, oh man, but it was three of them.
Yeah, I never watched this show. I definitely recognize the female actress, but
Yeah,
she was as an adult.
Yeah, the female that played actress, the girl that played actress Mose, that actress was in a popular show, very popular show called Pretty Little Liars.
Yep, that's where I know her
yeah,
from.
yeah.
Her name's Lindsay Shaw.
Lindsay Shaw. She
Yeah.
appeared in some smaller movies, I think, too.
Gotcha.
But they now have a podcast called Ned's Declassified Podcast Survival Guide. And the three of them reunited, and all they do is watch the episode and talk about it. It's pretty great.
That's cool if you really like that show. Like there's things from my childhood,
You just kind
like
of
specific episodes of. So Ed and Nettie was my show as a kid. Love
Bro,
that show,
Ed
bro.
and Nettie is
Ed and Nettie
so
was the
good.
best show
Yeah.
ever.
Dude,
I
their
saw
laugh, dude.
I saw a video or I saw a reel recently
Yeah.
where it showed all of the voice actors.
Bro.
And I saw the voice actors. I'm like, I did not expect.
I've never seen their faces.
I
The voice
kind of don't
actors.
want you to. Although Ed, like Big Ed,
Yeah, he's so
the
funny.
voice actor is exactly how he sounds. He looks exactly how he sounds.
That was
Like you
in my-
could guess the way he looks.
I'd say it's my top 3 cartoons.
100%.
Yeah,
I wish I grew up in a neighborhood like that. Although I grew up in a super cool neighborhood. Like my generation, growing up in that neighborhood,
Yeah.
it was just boys. Like there were some
Whoa.
girls,
So it
but
really
it
hit-
was mostly boys.
Whoa.
So we
Similar
had
to your life. Basically.
yeah, we had let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 or 9 boys that were all around the same age, and then there was like 4 or 5 girls, if that many, that were around the same. They
Because
had
there's
a
like
bigger age
2
gap.
girls in Ed and Eddie, maybe
3.
That's
No,
three.
there's 4,
Okay.
5.
Oh wow.
But
yeah.
anyway, what was cool is that in that neighborhood in Ed and Eddie, they would just get into these wild antics.
Yeah.
That was just
No parents
granted, it's
anywhere.
a cartoon, but yeah, right. But it was during the summertime.
Yeah.
So, but then when I think back about the stuff that we did as a kid, same thing in the summertime. We were
Finding
out
things
until
to
like
do.
1 or 2 in the morning. This
Bruh.
is like when we were in middle school.
Yeah,
But I lived in a neighborhood that was a cul-de-sac with only 12 houses in it.
that's so cool.
Everybody knew everybody. They weren't all friends necessarily, but all the parents knew each other.
And also,
you know?
that's all you. Each other was all you had. Like,
Yeah,
even
you're-
if you weren't super tight with that kid across the street, it's who you played with.
where I grew up, we're out in the county.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of it's grown up now for sure, but we were out in the county. You're not walking anywhere.
Yeah.
Like you're just surrounded by fields,
Wow.
right? And then so we would do things like play Dead Man's Hunt, which
Yeah.
was like it's hide and seek at night. That's all
But
Dead
it
Man's
sounds
Hunt
cooler
was.
to say
It was
Dead Man's
way
Hunt.
more fun though. It was so fun. We turned the woods behind my parents' house into a full-on paintball field.
Yes, we
Well,
used to do that. We used to do that.
We had bunkers. We had a bridge. We built a rickety freaking bridge. I can't believe nobody fell through it. We had an area in the middle. It was called No Man's Land. We had everything. It was amazing. We would play football in front yards and basketball during basketball season. We did all this cool stuff, but there were things that in Ed and Nettie, there was an episode that I love. This episode is when they went to a swimming hole.
Yeah,
And they were fighting over the best spot. And the the Eds got stuck on top of a rock in the middle of the sun. And instead of like enjoying the actual swimming hole and swimming, they were trying to get the shadowy spot, the shade, just underneath them.
Yeah.
But every time they would try to take it, somebody would swoop in and take it.
Yep.
Until finally, in the middle of it was like the nighttime. It was cold out. Everybody had left.
Yeah.
They finally got it. But they had fallen asleep on top of the rock waiting and were just completely baked by the sun.
I
right?
remember Ed on the top of that rock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah, yeah.
he was playing the lookout,
Yeah, yeah.
and so he just stood there, big Ed. He just stood there with his hand over his eyes until everybody left, and then he took his hand away, and he's got like his whole body's red except for the little spot he was covering with his hand. And then they're like, "All right, we got the spot," and now they're freezing cold.
Yeah.
And it was antics like that
Gosh.
that I wished we did, but we
Yeah.
still had fun. You know?
You had that was your version. I mean, you can only hope kids have that experience nowadays. You know, and
Oh yeah,
because
yeah.
there was for me it was I didn't live in a neighborhood, a cul-de-sac. I lived on a street with only like 3 houses. But my brother and I were out getting into all sorts of mischief, jumping off anything you can jump off of. We would, all of our friends were a short drive away. And what was cool was when you go over to the friend's house, you were there for the day.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
That's where you were.
Oh gosh.
Absolutely.
And it was so much fun. Each friend, had, their yard was this, because of the layout of their house and yard, that affects what you do there and stuff. Like my buddy Malik, oh my gosh, he's awesome. He's the one working on our logo.
Yep.
He said, he had a random bamboo forest behind his house.
Cool.
Like it was this section of his yard that had just bamboo trees.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking it was the coolest thing. I'd watch some like kung fu movies and stuff, or Hidden Dragon, all that stuff. Anyway, I remember one day I brought home an entire bamboo
like stalk of bamboo.
Yeah. And I walked in my house with it. My parents were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm gonna sit it. Don't worry. I know, but I'm gonna sit it here." And I sat it behind the door to, like when you open the front door to our house, I sat it behind it. And I was like, I knew it was ridiculous. I was like, "It's okay. I'm just gonna sit it here." It sat there, I think, for maybe over all of my childhood.
No kidding.
And one day I remember opening the door. I remember shutting the door or something and seeing it propped up still there, like dusty. And I was like, oh my gosh. I don't know.
Amazing.
That's as far as the story goes.
No. It's good. That reminds me, the last time I went to my parents' house, I don't know what prompted me to go into their attic to look for, I was looking for, I don't remember what I was looking for, if I'm honest with you. But I went into their attic and I found an old binder in their attic. That was one of my binders. I actually found 2 that had a ton of old Pokemon cards.
Oh my gosh!
Like
this just happened to me. I just found some more.
It was. Did you really?
Yeah.
Like the actual playable.
I found Pokemon cards. I found my Charizard finally.
No kidding.
I found my
I don't know
Charizard.
where mine is. Mine is probably long gone.
Dude, that's what I thought.
Which breaks my heart.
It was this magical moment. I'm not joking. I found a box that had Pokemon written on it. And it actually said Pokemon might be worth $. And I opened it up. And I'm not joking, on the very top was Charizard. And this is a card I thought I had lost, and it's in a plastic case.
Nice.
Good safe and sound.
Yeah.
We looked it up, and we think my version, it max could be worth upwards of $150-200.
That's awesome.
Still awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I looked up, I've got a promo Pikachu card.
Ooh.
It's like a WB promo card.
Yeah.
And I think the most recent one sold for something like $650, something like that.
Dude, the promos are valuable.
It was PSA graded and everything.
Oh, snap.
So, I might look into selling them at some point, who knows, but
well, you got to get them graded.
Just fine. Yeah, it is. It's $20 a card to be graded.
Get graded?
Yeah, by PSA.
Snap. Yeah.
Which is like they're the industry standard when it comes to grading collectible cards.
It wasn't a coughless pop.
It wasn't. I was going to say something, but I'm glad you did.
I almost made it.
But it was really cool. We found our original Nintendo Entertainment System.
Oh snap! Not the 64, one. The original. Yeah,
the gray one with the flap up top.
Yeah.
With I don't remember if we found any games, or my brother already had some games for it.
That one, I believe, had a joystick.
No. It did. It
did have a controller. It was flat.
Yeah, tiny little flat controller. Yeah. My brother already had the console in the game room. He couldn't find the controllers or the power supply for it. That's what we found. Ooh. We found those.
Why is it they were always separate? The system is never with the cables.
I don't know. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. What else did we find up there? We found some incredible stuff.
Bro.
Like it was really cool. I found a bunch of old swords. I used to be a sword guy. I was a sword
Yeah.
kid.
Oh, dude, I still
I
have
was too young for
lightsabers.
guns, so yeah. But lightsabers are kind of, in my mind, they're cooler. At least these days, it's so mainstream to like Star Wars these days.
Yeah.
It's no longer a nerdy thing.
Oh, but
For
I
me,
had
it's like
the
knowing the lore.
yes.
When you know the lore, then you're a nerd again.
You're the real
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah,
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 yeah. I mean, of course, I had like 6 or 7 of the plastic ones you had to fling
Flip out.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
I never had those as a kid. I wish I did. But
That I mean, they were. It was funny because as cool as it was to go like this and have them come out, you still had to put them back in yourself.
yeah. It reminds me of those rainbow swords that do that. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
The rainbow swords that flip out.
Same design.
I try to think. I like to think back about stuff like that,
Me
like
too.
toys like that, just to kind of jog my memory. You know.
Oh yeah.
But
It's one of the reasons I like working at a toy store is because
do you ever like run into stuff like that where you guys sell something that?
yeah, it's more. It's never the same toy, really. It's more a toy that is the today's version of something I have.
Got it. Yeah.
There's a couple of original ones. Do you remember Jacob's ladders? They're those
No.
wooden. It was. I don't even know if that's really what they're called. It's a maybe 6 or 7 wooden blocks.
I do know what you're talking
connected by
about now.
fabric, and
Yeah,
they fold
I didn't know
into
that's what
each
they
other,
were called.
and you would hold it up and just boop 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 boop, boop,
Yeah.
and then you just that's all it did.
Yeah, yeah.
We sell those.
You know what's interesting is I don't remember actually how they work.
I don't even know what you do with it
Yeah,
other than you open it and close it.
Yeah, that's so interesting. I do remember those. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, middle school turned into like, because when I was in elementary school, it was action figures
There's
all
a
day long.
shift in middle school.
And then middle school, it became paintball.
Yeah.
And that's
I got
a
into airsoft.
lot of what I did. I didn't get into airsoft. I got into
airsoft
paintball.
was high school. Sorry. I got into paintball a little bit with my brother in middle school until this one incident where he shot me. I was dressed head to toe in protection. My mom was so scared of me getting hurt.
Both of ours were. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. My brother had the decked out nice paintball gun.
Was it like a Tippmann 98 or something like that?
gosh,
or was it a Spider?
I think it was a Spider.
It's the
Dude,
brands. Yeah,
so
yeah.
nice.
The-
And it
the
was
good ones.
yeah, it was like I remember it was like pretty blue, I think. And he would actually go to courses and play with his friends. He
Yep.
was older than me. And I had this plastic pump one.
Oh no.
It was so not at the same
that
level.
sounds awful.
And I wanted to play so bad. It didn't matter. We covered me with everything. And we step outside. I'm covered head to toe in gear. I go down in a bush. He goes down in a bush on the other side of the yard.
Yeah.
And we're just waiting. And it's funny. We don't have a course. We're just waiting for one to pop up. And we've been out there 5 minutes like this. Pop up. He shoots me right in the neck. Right in the Adam's apple.
That's how they sneak up on you.
And it was the one spot I wasn't
Yeah.
protected. And it swelled up because it didn't pop. It bounced off.
Ooh.
And I remember I came in the house swollen, and my mom was just like, "What was wrong with y'all?"
Yeah.
Like,
so I when we built the paintball course in the back of my parents' property. So my parents, I think they're on an acre, maybe 2, and the whole back part of it is just woods.
yeah,
Right. And these days you can't even get back in there. It's so grown up. But back when I was a kid growing up, it was like spaced out trees, a nice big hill going down to the
Yeah.
no man's land, then another hill going up. So think of like 2 very tall hills with a flat area in between going down, and you've got foxholes and bunkers just dotted on these hills.
that's so nice.
And the woods actually did like a U shape
Yeah.
around the neighborhood. So we would run, like we would sprint all the way down behind other people's houses, but still in the woods, all the way down to try and flank each other.
Oh, that's
And it
so
would turn
cool.
into like 2 different gunfights where, because it was always 2 on 2, because we really didn't have everybody there all the time. One time we had everyone, and it was 4 on 4, I think. And that was the biggest match that we ever did. And I think that was the first night that we built the paintball field,
You
which
had that big.
I've got a great story. I've got a great story for that. But anyway, it would turn into these two different gunfights where one person's running all the way down to try and get around the other 2, and then they've got one person that's running down trying to prevent it from happening. And right in the middle, there's a creek kind of. So in the middle, you've got these two hills and then a flat ground that's no man's land. But a little off to the left, if you're facing from side A to side B,
Mhm.
is a creek, and that creek gets real deep. You can get in it, like stand in it,
Oh,
and you have to climb out. You can't just go across.
whoa.
It was
So how
deep,
deep the
deep.
water? Okay, so
It
you're
wasn't. There was no water though.
it's the
Only
creek
in
bed. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
only in the springtime was there water in it. It was
Whoa.
and
That's
only
perfect.
after super heavy rain.
Yeah.
It was great. It was really fun, but it would turn into these like slow, quiet because you're listening for the crunching of the leaves, ambushes all the time, everywhere, all the time.
This sounds so much
It
fun.
was tons of fun. It
Oh
was
my
so
gosh.
much fun. The one time where we had like 4-on-4, so 8 people total. Um, uh, at the end, we had so much fun. It was fall. We all met in no man's land. It's dark. It's
Yeah.
nighttime by then. So we made a fire. Not a big fire. It was pretty good size, but we were just chilling down there.
Back when kids making
talking
fires
about-
is fine.
Yeah, seriously, we were in the woods. We were very smart about it. We made
Oh,
sure
yeah,
it was
yeah.
just dirt around it. But yeah,
Mhm.
honestly, it was fine. We were all kids, and we just talked about the day. We talked about the matches we just had. It was so
Y'all
much
might
fun.
as well have been a bunch of 30-year-olds.
Pretty much. It was
Just
a
great.
lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're out there, it's nighttime, and as we're out there, it's pitch black dark.
Wow.
And we hear 2 cats.
They
that
can
are-
sound scary.
It was like blood curdling, these cats.
Dude,
And-
they're around my house and they still freak me out. Like I
Yeah,
don't expect
yeah,
them.
it
All of a
was
sudden I
bad.
hear,
they were fighting and they were close. But
Yeah, yeah.
the thing is, we can't see anything beyond where the fire lights. And that fire's not that big, and we're in the woods, so there's a lot of shadows being cast and stuff like that. So we hear it. It's terrifying. We're a bunch of kids, and we're like, someone had the great idea, don't know who, of stomping out the fire.
what?
Like, I don't know,
Oh,
Will.
that's
I don't
almost
know.
like something in a movie. Like we've been
It's the most-
spotted.
it's the
We've
most
been
ridic- yeah.
spotted. Put out the fire.
Put out the fire. They already know
We
where you
need
are.
a fire
you
right
can't
now.
see your eye, whatever. So somebody stomps out the fire, right? No. I'm sorry. I'm skipping a step.
Yeah.
We hear the noise. All of us get online, like, because we're around the fire, and
Yeah.
the noise is coming from behind a few of the other guys. So we all get on the same side, and we're facing the darkness.
Yeah.
Well, we've got paintball guns, so we're like, these hurt when you shoot. When you get hit with it, well, let's just shoot. We'll just shoot into the darkness, scare off whatever it is. So we've got these hoppers full of paintballs, CO2 canisters full of CO2, and we're just lighting up the woods.
Ooh, and then light triggers too.
Yeah,
They were-
yeah.
Oh
We're
my
just
gosh.
lighting up the woods. And we hear the sound again. And that's when all those paintballs did nothing.
Silence, and then all of a sudden,
And then we hear it again. Yes. So somebody's like, quick, stomp out the fire. So they stomp out the fire. We can't see anything now. And so it goes from this line of 8 guys or so to now complete darkness. You know they're there, but
Yeah.
you are so alone. You're so alone because you can't hear anything. But my eyes are starting to adjust.
Yes.
We hear the noise a third time, and someone just yells, "Run!" So we're like, "Okay." So we all turn, we start running up the hill.
There's always someone that
I know,
just says
just one
it's time
person
to
just
run.
goes run, and everybody does. And as we're running up the hill, my eyesight is starting to adjust a little bit better because as we're running up the hill, we're running towards my parents' house.
Okay, yeah.
And they've got the back lights on, so
Yep.
you can see using the back lights. Jimmy, one of the other kids in the neighborhood, is running right next to me. So we're running, and I can see Jimmy out of the corner of my eye. And I see Jimmy
He gets snatched.
he didn't get snatched, but I thought he did. We're running, and Jimmy was just a hair bit shorter than I was. And he goes from being here, his head being here, to his head being down here. And I hear, ugh. And I'm like, Jimmy, are you okay, Jimmy? And
He's like, don't leave me behind.
yeah, we didn't leave him behind. What had happened was he ran up the front of one of those foxholes and it fell directly into the foxhole. And he hit like his stomach on the back wall of the foxhole. So we grabbed him up and carried him out.
I love this so
But,
much. Something as
but
simple
stuff like
as a cat
yeah.
made a story you'll never forget.
Bro,
dude.
like seriously, that was from probably 2003 2002,
Man.
2003 had to be.
That's part of the magic of being a kid is something so simple of a moment can turn into an adventure.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's something you'll never forget. And,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Man,
Any adventures
I mean, really, I remember, man, um, sneaking into a rock quarry with my one time. It was actually it was my granddad with us and my brother. My granddad, my brother, and I.
Great role model. That's
Oh,
awesome. I
he's so
love that.
awesome. We
Yeah.
were up to we would just be like, "Where do y'all want to go? What do y'all want to do? What if we did that?"
Yeah.
Like it was just anything.
That's awesome.
And we went in, and I remember we there was a gate, and we just opened it and went in, and
Great adventure so far. We found a door. We went through it.
we went through it, but we got in there. We're throwing things into it as you do,
Yeah, absolutely.
like rocks and stuff. But like I remember mostly just us staring at it because it's ginormous. As a
Yep.
kid, you're looking at this ginormous hole, and you're like, "This is crazy." We turned to leave, and the gate's locked. We have been locked in this quarry because we went at probably, I don't know, around 4:30,
Mhm.
and then someone goes around at night and locks the quarry.
Wow. And they
So
didn't even make sure nobody was in there.
yeah,
They're just like,
they're probably
it's probably
used
empty.
to
Yeah.
locking this place up and just not giving a crap. Anyway,
Yeah.
so we so we're just like,
Minimum wage.
yeah, I my job, I lock, I leave. That's out of
Exactly.
my
Yep.
jurisdiction. Yeah. Anyway, I remember us going, what are we gonna do? There was one house a little bit in distance, in view of the gate. So we just started yelling and trying to get their attention, and no one's coming out. So then we just started hanging out a little bit. And then I remember I was leaning against the car, and my granddad and brother were looking in the trunk for something, and they're having a conversation. I'm just leaning, and I remember them slamming the trunk on my thumb, and
Oh.
that just hurt really bad. And then
Oh.
what else? Finally, we got someone's attention, and they came and unlocked it. I got locked in a graveyard once too. I'm getting
Stop
locked
going through
in.
doors, man. You
Yeah,
keep getting locked in.
it was actually the Beaufort graveyard.
Oh, really?
Which is creepy.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a
It
very
is.
old
Yeah, it's an old
cemetery.
one.
Hundreds and
I keep
hundreds.
thinking of that Family Guy episode where Peter locks his keys out of the car. So he's inside his car. And his keys are laying on the ground. He's trying to get them with a coat hanger.
Dude, it's always the opposite of that. That was a clever joke.
There's a guy walking by and goes, sir, please, sir, this keys. That's so good.
I'm already
That's what I
in my
keep thinking
car.
about. Oh no. I think
Ooh,
oh, go ahead.
I
I'm
have
sorry.
one more though.
Yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned attics though. We had a bat in our attic. Have I
Oh,
told you
cool.
about this?
No.
So my brother and my granddad and I were at a flea mall, and we bought a blow dart gun. Like I'm talking like we're kids, dude. We have this blow dart gun
That's amazing.
it's like 3 feet long.
That's incredible.
And, like,
I love that.
And this thing shot needles
Yeah.
this long. And it was so funny. Like I remember us handing it to each other. We were like, "Remember, inhale away from it, and then don't don't
swallow that dart. I've seen Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
yes, yeah." So we were just like, we went home and we're just like, and we're just shooting things with this blow dart gun, and then we sit it down, and that was that, and it sat in the room for a while, and we wouldn't use it, and then all of a sudden one day, Mom screams, "There's a bat in the attic." And we were like, my brother and I were like, this is the time. We grabbed the blow dart gun.
You took your glasses off like you were Clark Kent turning into Superman. Except it was your Xbox headset. My people need me.
We're probably in our boxers. Don't even have pants on. We grab the blow dart gun, and we like climb up the ladder to the attic. And on the wall is, it's this bat flapping.
Yeah.
And my brother, first try, pins it to the wall.
Oh, geez.
Kills it,
Brutal.
pins it to the wall. Yeah, and then it
Freaking
was
savage.
so funny. We just were like, and lifted and shut the attic and just left it there.
It's a reminder for the others.
For the others. And then we forgot about it. And my family doesn't go in the attic a whole lot. I don't know if that's normal, but
yeah.
we now it's
we
well
didn't either. Sure.
ventilated. It's not that it ever stunk or anything, but I remember just probably a decade later, a long time later, we were up there looking for Christmas stuff, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I looked, and there's a skeleton of a bat.
This
still
sounds like
pinned.
a cartoon.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous, but I love it.
I know.
It's amazing.
I'm probably like, I don't know, 8
Yeah.
or 7.
When your brother killed it.
When we were
Wow.
playing with this blow dart
Yeah.
gun, yeah. It was so
Gosh,
cool.
that's awesome. That's so
Flea
good.
malls. It was this flea mall right down the Newport.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
People who are listening to this somewhere like,
Yeah, it's okay. I've tried not to be too specific, but most of the people listening already know us and know where we live, so it's okay.
Well, my zip code.
Yeah, right. Let me get you my blood type and my address. I don't know why I said blood type, but all right.
Ocean spray.
We've got about 5 minutes left,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed this trip down memory lane.
So good.
I do apologize for the technical difficulty here.
We should have a baby hang in there, baby with a cat. Have you seen that?
We should, yeah. I don't know.
Cute.
I mean, that wouldn't make sense for the audio podcast, unfortunately. I could do it for just the video. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, it depends on how much work I want to do. Yeah. Because, frankly, Will and I both work full-time jobs. Yeah. I also have my small business, a newborn. Will has an amazing girlfriend. I have an amazing wife. And we do this for fun. Yeah. So, we'll see. We'll see what I do, and it'll be what it is. So
I haven't looked at the camera as much, so
good because
for the last 5 minutes, let's just stare right at it.
There is one the second episode, which when that came out, when I was watching it, there is one point in time at the very beginning where you're just watching yourself in the camera. And you go, just making sure it's in focus. I'm like, nobody. I didn't even want to say anything. So, I kind of want to start leaving off with dad advice and and Willisms.
Yeah, Willisms and dad advice. All right, Dad.
I'll start with some dad advice here. That'll give you time to come up with a Willism. Yeah. My dad advice, it's gonna be okay. Whatever it is, it's gonna be okay. It doesn't matter how important or not important it seems to other people. It's important to you, and it's going to be okay. You got this. Just be patient. You got this. That's my dad advice.
That is so good. You will be here 5 minutes from now, 10 minutes, or a day from now, and you will realize, wow.
Yep.
That thing that happened, we're okay now.
It's going to be okay.
Know that it's going to be okay and feel okay in the moment. I love that advice. That's so good.
Yeah. It doesn't have to necessarily be funny. It's just.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't have.
Yeah. The Willism, though, has got to be hilarious. So
when I was listening to you, I wanted to say something somewhat at equal level of just helpful and nice.
Dude, you do you,
This is helpful. This is their pain. Just take it outside. What I mean is just put them in a crate or some sort of bucket and take them outside with the hose. And spray them first with the hose, and then you can bring them inside and just do it's much nicer. Who wants to look at gross food? Imagine, and it's other people's food, especially like the really bad dishes you take outside, hose them down, then bring them in. I don't have a dishwasher.
That's a great.
Some of us,
but you don't have a dishwasher, but you have an exterior hose on your house.
Yeah, and I put it to good use.
I would love for your neighbor to just look outside and go, "Oh, honey, Will's out there spraying his dishes again."
I just wave, "Hey, what's up, man?" I don't even mention it.
Really? It's so weird. He's just spraying 2 paper plates and a plastic fork. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm. You can hide the dishes, but I don't recommend that.
Yeah, you get tired of burying them out.
That doesn't work.
Yeah, that might be considered littering.
No, I meant hide them in the house.
Oh,
but, it depends if you have company, but that doesn't work good.
Oh, you're throwing them in the attic with the bat? All right, guys, that's the end of episode 5 of the podcast, the first episode of the Chatcast, technically.
Yeah.
But I really hope you enjoyed it. Share it with your friends.
Yeah.
Share it with your friends, with your families. We're on Spotify. We're on YouTube. Give us a like. Give us a subscribe if you think we've earned it.
Yeah.
Leave us some feedback down in the comments. Although, if you leave the same comment across different platforms, I'm going to delete at least the extras.
Yeah. So make sure to, share not only online, but look, word of mouth goes a long way, man. That's how people know me so well is because of that.
All right, on that.
Well, really though.
Yeah, no, I got you.
What else though? We're done.
Yeah, we're done. We're done. All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.